On commentary, they called it a night of epic, unparalleled violence, and that is completely true. All Elite Wrestling blood and guts on Dynamite from Greensboro, North Carolina delivered one of the most violent and certainly bloodiest matches in televised wrestling history, or at least this year. Yeah, the double cage match, AEW's answer to WWE's War Games, was a wild one. We got two of them for the first time ever. The women got to step inside the double cage, but the show-closing affair of this 2.5-hour special extended broadcast on TBS was really violent, and it had a shocking ending. Jon Moxley may never be the same Jon Moxley again. Did we just see the end of Jon Moxley leading the Death Riders? Did we just see the end of Jon Moxley in AEW as a main eventer? What happened there? Let's get into it. What did you think? Hit the like button, share the link. I'm Kevin Kellum for Sportskeeda Wrestling. I want to know, what do you think is going to happen with Jon Moxley next? AEW gave their fans a premium live event pay-per-view quality main event on television on TBS from Greensboro. It was bloody, it was violent. Darby Allin got press slammed through flaming tables. Wheeler Yuta and Mark Briscoe fought each other with chairs on top of the cage. And in the ending, Jon Moxley, the leader of the bad guys, the Death Riders, the former AEW World Champion, got caught by a bloody, and I mean very bloodied up, Kyle O'Reilly in an ankle lock and tapped out, slamming his hand on the metal mayhem and broken glass and wreckage on the canvas. That's right, Jon Moxley tapped out. Is this the end of him as the leader of the Death Riders? How can he lead the baddest bad guy faction when he's the one who cost them the blood and guts match? You have to question his leadership moving forward. Yeah, Moxley didn't just get pinned, he surrendered. He tapped out, and this follows up him saying I quit against Darby Allin last month at AEW Wrestle Dream. Jon Moxley is very hardcore. Jon Moxley is still one of the biggest names to ever leap from WWE to AEW. But how is he the guy he once was? Is him tapping out on these occasions maybe him forcing his character to evolve into something new? And obviously people on the surface maybe hopping back into AEW for a big match are saying, well, if he's doing this, that means he's got to be leaving AEW. Well, slow your horses there. I don't mean to throw any water on the speculation fire around Jon Moxley becoming Dean Ambrose again, but he is contractually obligated to All Elite Wrestling reportedly well into late 2027, so we can hold off on that. He didn't just tap his way out of a wrestling contract he already signed. No matter what, you can't call Jon Moxley selfish. Put over Darby Allin, and he just put over Kyle O'Reilly, and, getting pinned is one thing, but tapping out to another guy? Yeah, even Bret Hart said that's the best way to win any match, especially one that's all bloody and messed up and really hardcore like this one. And that's Jon Moxley's thing. Him, grabbing some piece of an object and trying to bludgeon someone with it makes him Jon Moxley. Here he was doing all that stuff and it didn't really matter. What's clear moving forward is maybe this needs to be the end of the Death Riders, or at least the Death Riders with Jon Moxley. He has to evolve, reinvent, come back with a new coat of paint, if you will. What will that be? How can Jon Moxley evolve his character in AEW? Now, obviously, we know plenty of you just want to see him come back to WWE and do something there. We hear you, but there's still plenty more good matches, great stories, and interesting things he can do in All Elite Wrestling moving forward. Plus, not everyone needs to leave AEW and go back to WWE or vice versa. He has a lot more work to do, and as we mentioned, there's a lot more time on that contract left. At the same time, Moxley had the AEW World title for a long time. Personal storylines with him can be interesting. He certainly has the psychology and larger-than-life character to make those feel important, but still, redemption and, most importantly, reinvention has to be the next thing we see from Mox. Now, what is that? Can he find his way back into the good graces of fans and win their support after being one of the most despised men on Dynamite and Collision every week? That's something that would be really challenging. What do you want to see Jon Moxley do next? Sound off in the comments below and let us know. Is there a big match he hasn't had in AEW that we're not thinking of, that you're thinking of? I'd love to hear it.